Swadika, I'm Sandy and welcome back to my channel. Today is another episode for the IELTS session and here is my overall score again. So you can see here, and today I will be talking about the listening skill. I think the listening skills band 9 is a reasonable score for me to give you some advice, and I have 5 tips for you today. So if you are ready, let's go! Welcome again to the 5 tips for the IELTS Listening Band 9. The first tip is to read the instructions. I know this is a very boring step, but please don't forget to read the instructions before doing anything else, especially in the room where you can only hear the listenings once. So please read the instructions to make sure that you know what you're gonna do. There are many types of instructions like fill in the blanks, complete the sentences, match the headings or the endings, or even short answers. And I believe that all these things have one big thing in common is to look at the number of the words that you're gonna answer. So why are we talking about the number of the words? Because I think this is one of the biggest mistakes that people like to make when you fill in the blanks and you kind of forget that there is an instruction telling you that there should be this number of words to fill in, including no more than one word, no more than 2 words, no more than 3 words, and or a number. So make sure you have read the instructions and fill in the blanks according to the instruction. So don't lose your marks because of this easy mistake. This is another interesting instruction is the yes or no or not given. So if the information you're hearing and the question agrees with each other, then it's a yes. If you're not listening carefully, then you can be confused between no and not given. To answer no means that you're going to have another piece of information that you hear which contradicts with the true information. But if it's not given, then it's nothing at all. Like you cannot hear anything about that question at all. So be prepared with these questions. Tip number 2 is to listen for specific information. Even though you're listening to the whole recording, you shouldn't be listening to everything, okay? You should ask yourself first, what are you listening for? These information could be time, like 7:30, 7:30, kind of like that. The price of something that person A is gonna buy from person B, or the address of someone's house, someone's hotel. Locations and directions usually come with the map, the equipments when you're going to the camp, I mean, in the example, and also the vehicles, like by car, by train, and so on. Mostly, we're gonna have the customer service when you're talking to the officer, whether there's something we need to bring to somewhere, and the officer is gonna tell us a lot of information. So be sure to focus on what the officer is telling us to do. Or even lectures, like in the academic ways between maybe 2 or more people exchanging about their thoughts on their lectures. Lastly, all of them are going to be conversations between 2 people or even more. However, don't worry about that because the types of conversation is not as important as the specific information that you're going to ask yourself first. What are you listening for? The third tip is to multitask. There are going to be a lot of things that you're going to need to do. The first thing that you need to do is to listen simultaneously throughout the recording because you don't want to miss out any information. So please listen carefully. The second one is to look at the questions. Remember, I tell you that this is multitasking, right? So it means that whatever I'm telling you now that you're gonna do, you need to do it together at one time. So the first one, you listen simultaneously. However, you're gonna also keep looking at the questions while you're listening. Take notes while you're doing the other 2 things. So you listen, you look at the questions, and your hand is writing. Or if you feel like taking notes is not enough, or it's kind of wasting your time a little bit, so then make a mental summary. And this is very important. I like to always do it. You need to do these 4 things together at the same time or to multitask. First, listen. Next, look at the questions. Third, to take notes. And the fourth is to do a mental summary. Remember, do these things all at once. The fourth tip is to focus. Focus, focus, focus. The first step I want you to do is to avoid distractions, especially before the test. Because I feel like in the test room, there are no distractions at all. Only maybe your mind. But before you're entering the room, then you should turn off your phones or don't be in social media. During the test, you should focus on every moment. Every moment. I mean, every recording, every questions and answers that you're hearing, focus on everything. Because to get IELTS Listening Band 9, you shouldn't be missing any question. You shouldn't be making any mistakes. So to do that, you need to focus 100%. But don't worry, you don't need to focus for the whole 30 minutes, So between questions, they're going to give you a time to review your answers. Then I think that is a time you can take a short break from listening carefully, But instead, you can calm down for a bit and prepare for the next question. The last tip is to make sure that you have a perfect practice. I once heard a YouTuber talking about preparing for IELTS test, and he said that sometimes practice doesn't make perfect because that practice is not good enough. That's why you need to pay attention to every IELTS practice test. And that's it for today. I hope you guys got some tips and tricks for your IELTS listening to get IELTS Band 9. And if you guys have any more questions, feel free to DM to my Instagram, sandybn_. And that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So thank you. Bye!